Something I noticed going on, and you need to be careful because they're trying to make fishers of men and mimic what the Father has created. Only theirs are traps. You need to be careful and do not follow things that are not of the Father. In Matthew, I believe it's chapter 22, I looked it up a little while ago. It says to love God with all your heart, all your soul, and all your mind. That is the greatest commandment. When the Pharisees asked Jesus a question to trap him. The second commandment, that is also one of the greatest, is to love thy neighbor as thyself. You won't do your neighbor wrong. And what I see is an attempt to divide people from helping each other. You see, in this land where God's people are, that has been hidden because no earthly man can stand against a living God, the Father that created everything. Man's disobedience and rejection of God has gotten us where we are today. Ooh, the heathen are raging. But anyway, they just don't understand. And if they do, it's utter destruction. We're watching it happen. Prophecy is unfolding right in front of us. But if you think of it this way, if you lash out at somebody, that's not love. And you know, we've seen what all wrong has been done and gone on. Shadow's out here with me. But you know, if you do the same thing and try to take vengeance for yourself, that makes your fleshly nature feel better and good, it's not. Two wrongs do not make a right. That's the bait and hook. Right now, if you drive around our area, the roads are horrible. Absolutely horrible. Things of the world are being destroyed. They are not of us because they left us. We didn't leave them, they left us. And we, being in God's land, will obey the Father. Hey, Shadow. And we will love each other and take care of each other. And if you don't participate and choose God in the high road and turn from ways that are not of God, utter destruction comes. You see, things a long time ago took years and months and weeks to days. Now it's in a moment that information, she's still bumping my arm, can be delivered. Man's inventions will turn around on them like a boomerang effect. If you ever thrown boomerangs, they return back to you. So what God has blessed, no man can curse. It goes back on them and heaps piles of coals on their own heads by their own choice. The Father is willing I'm going to assume that the interstate has probably had a wreck, because it seems this road turns to an interstate when something like that happens. But if you think about it, when you make a bed and how you treat people, there's a people that are chosen for that vengeance. But I don't believe they make it, because God already knows who those people are, beginning to end. If you are a part of it, that is the beastly nature. We need to choose the high road and choose wisely to do the right thing. And any man that tells you not to help somebody you see in need, and the Father commands you to help them, that little voice inside that nudges you and says to do something, if you don't hear that, you need to run to the Father and beg for mercy to obtain grace. Our conscience is our light of whether you do right or wrong. And you cannot extend your life during this time if you do not turn from what you are doing that is wrong. The penalty of sin is death. We're forewarned of this in Proverbs 6, the 7 deadly sins. If it is something that makes you feel good to lash out and do things, it's not going to be successful. That's not loving thy neighbor. Don't fall for the traps of the enemy, because I can tell you, it's getting to be really hard for a lot of people to not return what was done to them. Because if we don't forgive, we're not forgiven.